Hi, Jelena. Firstly, can I get your thoughts on your first match back against Aston Villa? What did you make of the performance?
Hi. Yeah, it was. There were a lot of positives and a lot of things that we were also not really pleased with. But yeah, in general, the feeling is that we could have done more, and we obviously wanted to win the game. So we're obviously frustrated with that. But then on the flip side, there are also a lot of positives. We kept a clean sheet, so I think we should take that into the next game, and yeah, just to build that confidence with that clean sheet. So we're pleased with that.
And what did you make of the performance of some of your new players? And I guess how are you finding your role as maybe helping them to settle in?
Yeah, it's obviously quite a new team, but I think we were working preseason hard to so everybody's integrating into their roles. So of course it takes time, and obviously with the more games we play, I think it will settle better. But I think all the new players are already integrating, and that's really nice to see. So yeah, hopefully we can just build on that.
And Manchester City, of course, next. I guess the games you played against them maybe look a little bit different from last season to now. They obviously had injuries. They have a couple of new players. Have you managed to see their game, and do you see anything maybe different that they might show this time round?
Well, obviously they only also played one game, so it's hard to analyze, and they've got a lot of also new players and new coach. But obviously we are prepared for the game, and we're going to prepare to do our best. And yeah, we go as for every other game, we go for win, and then yeah, we see how it goes.
How much do you look forward to challenging yourself against teams like a Manchester City with a lot of good players, but especially midfield and forward players? How much do you look forward to that challenge?
Yeah, I think these are the games that are always special to play. We are here to play and to compete, and WSL is arguably one of the best leagues. So every team has so much quality, and obviously City has some amazing players. But that's just a challenge, and for us as a team, that's a next step. That maybe last year we didn't really have a consistency, and that's what we are trying to build this year. And yeah, these games can hopefully bring us towards our goal.
Well, best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Brian?
Hi, Elena. Just about you're in midfield, obviously alongside the new captain. Have you seen any difference in Maisie since she's taken the armband?
Yeah, well, like obviously it's a big and next step for her as a player, but also as a person to be a captain. So obviously she needs to step up, and I think she's ready for that role. So I mean, as a person, obviously Maisie is Maisie, so I don't think anything changed. But yeah, I think it's nice to see her developing as a leader also in the group, and I think she can do that well. And I guess we'll see this year how she's going to progress in that. But like she's for sure ready for it.
And when you say Maisie is Maisie, she comes across as quite outgoing and quite bubbly. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, she's just super friendly, and she's really like if we speak like outside football, she's just just super kind person. So that's just what I meant. She is who she is, and like nothing changes with that. And I just think yeah, like on the pitch, obviously the captaincy and outside of the pitch brings another responsibilities. And as I said, I think she's just ready for it. So it's nice to have her as a captain.
But you're obviously quite an experienced player as well. Do you feel a little bit of responsibility in that respect too?
Sorry, can you come again?
You're an experienced player yourself. Do you feel some responsibility in that area too, as a sort of on-field influence or leader?
Yeah, I mean, I think in every team, it's not only one person. There needs to be leadership coming from different players, different obviously also from the staff. So yeah, it's a team sport at the end. Maisie is the captain, but there is obviously a few of us with a lot of experience who can help. And yeah, as I said, it's at the end a team sport, and we all have a responsibility lead the team and to be the best versions of ourselves.
Just talking about yourself, I noticed last month you obviously had a quick look at your Instagram before speaking. 20s were training, 30s are the game. Was that just a throwaway joke, or is that how you're feeling going into this new season?
Oh, that's how I feel. I feel really good. So age is just a number, right? No, I just feel good. It was also just a joke, but that's how I feel. I feel good, and as I said, just excited for the new season, and obviously, it's also for me. Like, I mean, with the age, but also with the experience, and as I said, I think age is just a number, but like it's just about like how long do you play on certain level, and that's what brings the experience. And yeah, for me, it's like that really doesn't matter in football, but like obviously I have a lot of experience, and like that's what I'm trying to bring also into this season to the team.
Because it feels almost like you're thinking now time to really kick on and sort of reach new levels. That's sort of how I read that.
Exactly, and that's how I feel, and but that's how I feel every year and every season. So I think every season there is an opportunity to grow and to be better, and that's how I also feel this season.
And just finally, how do you see the WSL? Obviously, you've got the European champions, you've got mighty Chelsea, you've got very ambitious London City. Is it stronger than ever as a league?
I think so, and I think there's so much quality. Like in every team has a lot of international players, a lot of lionesses also, and just a lot of talent. So I think the league is as competitive as it gets, and like compared to previous years. So it's just exciting, and it's just exciting to play in this league. And as I said, I'm happy to be part of this team, and like that we can challenge and in WSL, and I think that this year hopefully we can do even better than last year.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask from the player's perspective, when you go into a game against like a team the quality of Man City, how much do you concentrate on who your opponent's going to be as a sort of as a squad versus they're just the next opponent? Is there kind of a feeling? Does it feel, slightly more not anxious, not the right word, but do you know what I mean? How does it feel going into a game against the top four? Is it just another game that you have to win, or is there just a little bit more on the line?
I think it is just another game, but obviously we analyze every team, so it doesn't matter if it's top four or maybe a bottom team, because I mean, as I said previously, there is just so much quality in the league, so every team has their own threats. So there is no difference in preparation for the game. So it's just, of course, trying to exploit things, because every team has their strengths and weaknesses. So it's always trying to exploit the other team's weaknesses and trying to bring out and to see how we can do that. So I wouldn't say that there is much difference in preparation, or there at least for me shouldn't be, and that's not what we do. But as I said, it's important to analyze every team, and every game is the same because every team has strengths and weaknesses. So I don't think there is any difference in that way.
Perfect. And there's a coach going up from the club with away supporters. So this is going to be the first time we've had away coach travel to every single game. How much does it mean to the players, and have the playing squad noticed the fact that the away support is increasing and getting bigger, and how much does that mean to you guys on the pitch?
It really means a lot to us to see people coming, and especially these long trips to, for example, like this weekend to Manchester. It's really a long trip, and it just shows the support that we get, and we really appreciate it. And it's just always nice when you're on the pitch and then you can hear support. Like if you do something good and then you hear your supporters, it of course makes a difference. So we are just so happy that there are people who will come on our next game and to support us. And obviously it means a lot to us.
Hi Dario, were you surprised to get Michelle Agyemang back from Arsenal, and can you explain why she thought Brighton would be the best place for her this season?
Look, I wouldn't say surprised. I think when a player comes on loan, you never know really the intentions of her sort of parent club. So Arsenal, I think, in the discussions with Mish, decided it was good and for her development to continue playing. And I think her experience and being with us last year, she sees the football that we'd like to play, that it's at a good style that suits her, and also that we're also very good at developing young players.
Just following up, I suppose, on Michelle on that question, and also a question you were asked on Sunday in that little room at Crawley, where you spoke about how she was quite mobile, not just a number 9. Is that something that she does anyway, or are you adding that to her game? Is she being sort of educated on that with you?
Look, a little bit, yeah. So different sort of teams will give us a different sort of problem. So we're looking for as many solutions as we possibly can. So, just create problems. I think she's good as well at that, when she can receive sort of between lines and face people and get running at them. And she's good dribbler as well. So just trying to add as much sort of for her as well as a young player. We're trying to give her as much ammunition, so to speak, to hurt opposition as much as and in many different ways.
And is it something that she's progressing at is she sort of played that way before, or is she getting an education from yourselves?
No, I think it is an education. She said to me she hadn't done that before, so it's just a little bit. We're trying to educate her. She's come in a little bit late, joined us in Spain. So we'll sort of we assess each opponent, and we see what we know her best strengths are in and around the box. So we don't want to take that away. We still want to have her in areas where she can score. So we'll assess, and we've assessed City for Friday, and we've got a good idea now how we'll attack them Friday night.
So while I'm on, can I just ask any personnel news, any players any injuries you've discovered, or any players coming back?
No, everything is pretty much the same.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amy?
Hi Dario, not to make this the Michelle Egerman press conference, but I just wanted to follow up kind of with you last season, having her on loan, and she was a little bit more of a sub and came into her own as the season went. Do you feel now she's come back, she's got that greater understanding of what you're asking from her, that she can lead sort of more from the front in a more prominent role this season?
Yeah, look, that's the idea. So I think last season she, for me, physically just wasn't ready to start games, to play at that intensity for long periods. So it was an adaptation season for herself, playing in the WSL, coming on. She had her opportunities to start as well, so we wanted to look after her. But, the most important thing is, and the ones we always put out, we always think, they're out there to be successful. So we'll never put someone that's not ready to play, because we want them to go out, to enjoy, to have success, and ultimately we're trying to win a football game. So, she's progressed a lot from last season. She obviously done what she done in the summer, played a big part for the nation to win the Euros, and now we still can't forget, even with all that she's achieved, that she still is very, very young. So no doubt there'll be highs, there'll be lows, and she'll still be learning a lot with us throughout the season.
You mentioned about having that reputation for developing young players. Is that something, while you're in negotiations with a lot of the players you brought in this summer, that you kind of leaned on and noticed that it was quite respected? I'm looking at someone like Carla, for example, like Melise, some of these young players that have great potential have kind of put that faith in you to be the next step. That must be quite a pride thing as well.
Yeah, look, I think we've had, positive calls when we've spoken to these girls, and I don't think I'm just to develop or us as a program to develop young players. I think we develop. If you probably ask Fran, she'd probably tell you she's learnt a lot in the last season and also this season. So, we want to develop everyone in the squad. So, okay, the younger ones they'll learn probably a little bit more because they're just starting. They're experiencing things for the first time, while someone like Fran or Jelena, they've experienced already a lot in their careers. They've been through different, scenarios, different moments in games, so they've learnt as well, and they've also throughout the coaching that they've received over the years. So, it's never one where we just say we're just going to focus on the young ones to develop. We want to develop individually everyone in the squad, and then that helps us to become collectively better as well.
And as part of that overarching theme of, developing the whole team, how important was it then to bring in some of the other players that you brought in this season? Obviously, like, and Dozi's got so much experience with Nigeria, and Oeka Mayani's been such an important player in title-winning teams. How important would players like that to bring in to round out the experience of the squad when you do have those younger players in there too?
Yeah, look, it is. I think I enjoy those talks because I get to sort of if I take Moeka for example, I get to analyse her a little bit. We just have a discussion. I show her things that are really good. So she's got a lot of good qualities. I think everyone's seen now the quality that she possesses. But then showing her also a lot of things that we can help her with, that we can develop, that she can start to learn with the ball, without the ball. And I think that just sparks an interest. So the most important thing is I think we play a good brand of football. That's exciting, that players want to be a part of, but also that they know that they'll come into a club or into a space where the idea is that they leave every single day a better person and a better footballer. So that's what we wanted to do. We want it to be enjoyable. Obviously, if you're winning, it's a lot more enjoyable, but the result we can't control. Even on the weekend, I felt we were the better team. And the 0-0, and that's football. So I'm never really ever too caught up in the result. We sort of stick to what we're doing, try to continuously get better, try to improve, and then ready to go on Friday night.
Thanks, Dario. Good luck to see you.
Thank you.
Dan?
Hi, Dario. Hope you're well.
Good, Dan. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Just looking at City, I just wonder from watching them last week, kind of what changes do you see to Manchester City this year compared to what we've seen in previous years?
Look, I think it's still the idea is still quite similar. They still want to possess the ball. They want to play in the opponent's half. When they don't have the ball, high press. So they want to try win the ball back as quickly as possible. A few little different things that they're doing as well. But I think a lot of the players, that were there, they still have those probably tendencies, and whether they've kept them, it's a little bit hard to judge them off one game. So we'll prepare as best as we can. And then we'll be ready for no doubt what will be a tough clash on Friday.
And how pleased were you with the clean sheet last week? Because there were kind of few and far between back end of last year. I suppose if you look at the table last year as well, kind of the against column, when you look outside of the top four, it's quite different. It's quite higher. So how pleased was it to start with a clean sheet?
No, look, really good. And, we kept a very, very dangerous team, a forward line in Aston Villa, fairly quiet. I think they had just 2 shots from distance that came off the crossbar. But I think other than that, we controlled their transitions, I think, really, really well. So there won't be too many tougher tests than that, where you've got 4 players continuously attacking the deep. But yeah, look, really, really pleasing. We tried, first season last year, we tried to instill as much as we possibly could in a quick matter of time. It takes time, it takes experience, it takes learning, it takes getting it wrong to be able to get it right. So, we've worked tremendously hard. The girls have taken a lot of information on again in the preseason, and, that was really pleasing. That was, with the ball as well, some pleasing moments, but we know we need to be a lot better than what we were, and I think we definitely will be on Friday night.
What's the focus been in training this week? Because you carved out a lot of good chances against Villa. It just felt like it just wouldn't go in. It wasn't quite your day last weekend.
Yeah, and look, that can happen. I think the positive thing is that we are creating. There was still a couple more where it was probably like a single pass that was away from, potentially going one-on-one with the goalkeeper and a few other different things. So, it's hard to expect it to be perfect in round one. I think the conditions as well, the pitch was the grass was a bit thick, the girls were saying afterwards, and it surely felt that way as well. So it seemed like at the start both teams were the ball was getting stuck a little bit under their feet. I know in the box a few times he got stuck, and I think the ball's just that little bit grippy, and then with the grass and the dry conditions. So I think we just needed a little bit of time to adapt to that. Second half, much better. And look, I think it's just same thing. We've got a shorter week this week with just the 2 sessions with the shorter turnaround, playing on the Friday night. So we've trained this morning. We've looked at City, what we can be aware of, where we can hurt them as well. So we'll have our last hit out tomorrow, and we'll go confidently up to Manchester.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Dario. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Duncan?
Hi, Dario. Touching a little bit on something Dan brought up, do the 2 games we played against Man City last season, obviously they were both, away, it was only 1-0, quite close game. Could have got something out of it. At home, I thought we were probably the better team. Does that give you sort of some impetus going into this game, or is it literally like a blank slate again? You have to reassess everything from fresh.
Look, maybe a little bit, but we have to remember it's a new season. It's been a little bit of time since then. A new manager has come in as well there, so it's different ideas, different ways of working. They've had the full week also to prepare, and I'm sure they've been continued to work. So naturally, their identity will come more and more clear as the weeks go on. But from us, we just sort of take it on what we've seen, what we expect. We know some of the individuals quite well from their history in the league and their natural tendencies. So we'll need to be a little bit smart how we collate that all together and the idea that we have. But look, we want to go there. We want to play our brand. We want to be, again, try to be the dominant team. And I think we take a lot of experience from last year. We take a lot of confidence. And sometimes when you play the so-called bigger teams that have been in that top four for a long time, that sometimes you need that when you're in the tunnel, that you're not looking up at them, that you're looking them right in the eye. And that's what we want to do. We want to be there toe-to-toe. We want to play. I got no doubt that it's going to be a fantastic game of football, and it's one that I'm really looking forward to.
Thank you. And obviously, bearing in mind it's only 5 days between the fixtures, between Sunday and Friday, does that present any sort of challenges with like team selection or anything like that? Or is it, everyone's in a sort of space where if they play Sunday, they can play 90 minutes again on Friday? Do you have to take that into account with any players?
Look, no, I've spoken to a couple and they're all ready. So they're basically no chance. So I think, ideally you'd love to have a week. I think as a coach, it's being selfish. But, players, if you could play every couple of days, I'm sure you just want to play. So we're ready. We're looking forward to it. And, and I'm sure it'll be a great game for the WSL as well.
Perfect. And last one from me. Obviously, Maisie is our new captain, excuse me, and we're all behind her. Is there an appointed vice captain, or will it just depend on who's still on the pitch at the time, or will it sort of be the most experienced player at the time?
Look, that'll be mostly Fran. So it's Fran and Yeli and Mo that form that leadership group for us. So again, a little bit depends if, again, you need to be on the pitch as well. But there's a lot of experience there. So Maisie might wear the armband, but we want to have as many leaders as we possibly can in that team that can help, that can show the way. But in terms of everything, I've been very proud of the girls and their effort, and they're giving me a lot of headaches for selection, and which is a great headache to have. So full credit to them, and then I have to have the tough choice to leave some out, because believe me, they all deserve to play on Friday.